Okay, I'm sitting in my camper, just relaxing, getting it ready to go on a camping trip, hopefully for fall, so that me and the kids get to spend some time in it. And I'm just sitting here and I was just watching, a couple of reels on YouTube, and something like just bang hit the trailer, and I was like, oh my god. And the kitchen windows, the blinds don't work, you can't close them, so I'm gonna have to get those replaced or get curtains or something. And so I shut this little side window because it sounded like it came from the front little corner of the camper. Okay, so I'm like, oh my gosh. So like I shut the window and I pulled the blind down, and I'm like leaving the blind enough that I can look out, and I don't see anything, and I'm going back and forth to the other side of the camper. And then I turn on my camera because I have security cameras that have footage of all of the area. So I turn on the security cameras and there's nothing outside, and I review the footage. I go back and back and look back and keep trying to find that like exact spot, but it literally had just happened and there's like nothing. So I don't know. I really don't know. Like, if it was a bird, I would think there'd be some kind of indentation. I'm gonna have to really look tomorrow in the daylight at everything. But it sounded like somebody walked up to it and just smacked it, just, and then like, but there was no video footage of any shadows on that side where the noise came from. Um, maybe because it's a new trailer and I'm bringing stuff in and I'm maybe moving about or shifting, that it kind of cracked, like it popped somehow. But the noise was like terrifying. And then I was scared to get out of the camper and just go inside. So I was like, what the heck? Like, I don't. And then I had to sit here and I said to myself, you can't be scared though, because what happens if you're out camping and something happens? So yeah, and once it happened, I was delayed to lock my door because I'm in a safe spot. But I think every time I come in, I'm just going to lock the door. I have to get in that habit no matter where I am. So, yeah, my heart's racing. My heart is racing. But I'm going to go ahead, go inside, brush my teeth, do all those things, and maybe answer a survey here and possibly get a gift card in the mail. I've won surveys before. I believe in them. So when you get a receipt from your grocery store, or like certain gas stations, or like Burger King, if you take a few minutes and just do the survey, you'll get a free cheeseburger next time you go through, man. So I think you have to have a fry and a Coke or drink with it, but they've given it to me, just the cheeseburger and a glass of water. So yeah, so peace out, guys. Hope you're having a good evening. Wanted to tell you I'm scaredy pants right now, and I don't know what the bang was on the trailer. I don't know what that bang was. Like, it was so loud. Like, if it would have been a bird hitting this, it would have had to be like a Canada goose or an owl or a big blackbird, a big raven, or there was just no explanation for it. And like, I have raccoons that are all around, like, coyotes, deer, everything. But even if it was like a raccoon pressing its paws up against it, I would have heard more noise after from the creature itself. And like the bird, or if something hit it, I didn't hear a sound. And like if it was a person and they would have hit it like that, you would have think it would have hurt their fist. Man, I think I might rewatch footage again from the security cameras and just see if I can see anything. Man, that's creepy though, guys. Creepy. You know, when you're a solo female doing anything, it's difficult, I think. It's been very difficult for me. I've been single and solo for many, many years, and you have to always get over your fear and, you know, just do things or you won't get out and do anything. Like I used to cover a place called the Port Theater, and they would have live bands and music and shows and James Bond premieres with like the literal screenwriters of one of the James Bond movies, and big auctions with private, signature things. And I mean, fancy events, cool stuff, mostly live music. But I used to go cover the events, but I hated to walk to the truck alone after. I hated to, because it's in a not the best area of town, and not to say anything bad, but it is what it is to say. And when there's an event, everybody around will know, because there's just anyhow. And then it's like driving home alone, and then getting in the house alone, and it's getting into the house alone, and getting from the truck to the house, and you don't know if someone followed you. But I live in the country, so it's pretty easy to tell if someone's following me, because it's a very long, 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 long road, so there'd be headlights like at some point. Or it's just scary though. It's just scary. I hate being single, guys. I hate being single, but I don't know what my destiny is going to be. I was married for 23 years. I could not date after for like 2 years. Like solid. I couldn't even think to talk to someone. I was just devastated. And we had 4 children together. We had the best life anyhow. And then dated someone for a few years, but like not like super serious, although I wasn't dating anyone else during that time. And then dated someone on and off for like 6 years, and that was just not a great situation. So preferred to stay single now for 4 years maybe, or I don't know how long it's been. Either 4 going on 5 or 3 going on 4 or 5 going on 6. I don't know. I lose track. But since that, I've preferred not to date at all. Like at all. Like at all. Not talk, nothing. Just because, man, I have just different situations going on with my health, and it's a funny time where the kids are finishing high school and one's finished university. 3 have finished university. And if my youngest does not go that route, that's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. He's working and making a living, and I think that's just fabulous. So, you got to follow your heart, and that's what it's all about, following your heart. Anyways, well, that was good to talk to y'all. Kind of calmed me down, because I literally have to get in the habit. Like even today, right now, that door is not locked. I did not lock the door, because when I came in, it was daylight, and I didn't think I'd sit here. But like I'm sitting here, I'm working out things. Like I'm trying to write a list of when you're leaving for camping, what's the checklist, and like how to hook the hook to the hitch to the trailer, and the sway bars, and the steps you got to take, and lift the trailer up and lift the trailer down, and oi, 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 which is why I'll have to go, definitely, most likely, camping with someone, or leave it attached to the truck once I arrive to a destination, and just leave it connected, which is fine, which is fine. I used to be really brave in my camper, because you could drive it away if something happened. You just got in the driver's seat, and a situation happened to me where I was up in the mountains, hadn't seen any towns, no villages, no vehicles for like 2 hours. I was exhausted. I was in the C-Class motorhome. I thought, I'm going to pull over here, look like a quiet place down by some water. So I went down, really rugged, kind of dead end road. I was like, all right, this is perfect, man. Just sleep for a bit and then I'll be on my way. The minute the sun rises, it would beam in the back window. You felt the heat even. I needed to put, I had Reflectix on the back window, but I didn't have Reflectix on the ceiling fan, and I needed to just MacGyver some Reflectix with some, like, what do you call that? Velcro or something, and then just take that direct sunlight out, because it was just beaming down. But I mean, that was a good way to get up and get going, right? But anyhow, I pulled in and I just got into my bed and it was dark, and just something, usually I'd hit the pillow and man, I was like out cold going towards the pillow. I'd be snoring. But this situation, it was just a few minutes I was restless, not many. And I just thought, oh man, I just felt like a bad feeling. And I happened to like look out my window. And as I'm looking around, and I mean, I sat in the vehicle for a bit and waited and checked the whole area out, and it looked like nobody for miles. And then all of a sudden, I could see this flashlight in the bush, like, with the person's walking and the flashlight's moving. And I could see a chain with a dog on a leash. And they were booking it towards me. And I am 99.9% sure they had a rifle in their arm, definitely a long gun. And I just thought, oh my dear gosh, this is every RVer's nightmare. And, whether you're a couple in that vehicle or solo at that point, it didn't matter. But they could have seen me as a solo person driving up on like some kind of game camera, and like seeing I'm alone in the vehicle, like there's no one in the front seat. I used to take, my dad passed away, and when he passed away, we got dress shirts made into pillows of his, and I would take the dress shirt and buckle it in the front seat so my dad would be on these trips with me, and just made me feel comfort. And but like, I need a whole mannequin to be put in there, and I always have a baseball hat. I usually drive with a hoodie on, with the hood up. And I have a baseball hat that I wear often, and I have a baseball hat on the passenger seat, kind of hanging off the headrest. So it could look like there's someone else in my truck, ever since that incident. And I used to wear a hoodie all the time, but that incident, in a baseball hat. But I mean, that incident scared the heck out of me. So I was able to pull out, and I almost had to go reverse the whole way. And it was quite a long ways that I drove down to this lakeside. Um, and trees on both sides, hard maples and pines, and I don't know if there's a vehicle at the end of the road waiting for me, blocking me. I just booked it out of there, and then I was so alert, I drove literally for I think 3 hours later, until I think I may have came home. I don't remember if I was going to a certain destination or coming back from it, but I believe that scared me enough, and I think I may have came home. And so let that be a lesson, guys. And it's like that with your vehicles, everything, man. Like, it's scary. If there's a dollar bill on the ground, don't bend over to pick it up. Don't use your bare hands. Use a rubber glove or a mask or a plastic baggie or anything, because it could be laced. And if somebody approaches you and tries to sell you books or hand you anything, don't accept it. There's a story that a young girl in Walmart was approached by another young girl, very, not intimidating at all, very small framed young girl. And this girl said, here, you want these books? And in human nature, we reach out and grab things generally, and the girl kind of grabbed them and went, well, what are they? And she said, well, they're $20 if you want them. And this girl said, oh, thank you very much, but I'm not interested, and tried to hand them back to her, and the girl did not want to take it back. And when she finally took it back, she was like barely touching the corners. But by that time, the girl who accepted the books, who was at the checkout, at the self checkout, started to feel really woozy, and she knew at that point that she was drugged, but she was so drugged so fast she almost didn't know enough to go say anything. But thank God she let me just shut windows and shut my curtains. I'm scaring myself. Um she she knew to go to the security guard and not go into the bathroom. The worst thing you can do is go in the bathroom to try to splash water on your face. But by the time it hits, a lot of time you're not even oriented enough to figure those things out at that point. But she went to a security guard. She said, I'm alone, because you want to make sure to say you're alone, because you don't want this, because this girl was working with a male person, and what they do is they'll bring you in the bathroom, they'll put a baseball hat on you, they'll cut your hair, they'll change your, hoodie, your jacket, and then they'll try to walk you out, and or they might say, oh, she's drunk, or she took her medication, or she's really they could try to take you away and have any excuse. And if the security guard or the staff aren't alert enough, or thinking that it's a possibility that this is a scam happening, they may allow you to go with that man or person. And I'm sure they have a story all figured out for that too, right? So, and this was like in a Walmart, in a busy store. So, and I'm staring at Walmart bags from where I'm sitting right now. So you never know. You never know, which is sad, because you know it's sad that we can't trust everyone like we used to be able to back in the day. I feel way back in the day, but it's been around, but it's scary now, guys. If you're going into a gas station, park somewhere very well lit and look under your vehicle before you get back in your vehicle. Somebody could be rolled right underneath and they slice your Achilles. You go down, they throw you in the car, they drive off, nobody knows any better. And that's happened like not far from where I live. So, it's just scary times, but we can't also let that stop us from living, because then we just stay in our homes, which I do a whole lot of. I used to fish almost every day. I iced fished a lot in the winter. I used to hunt. And it's not to say that I'm not going to get out. I ice fished last year, but not a lot. But I used to drag my own sled and have my own ice fishing tent. I have a new tent, so that's a good thing. But I used to drag the sled with all the equipment, and set up and not be fearful of anything, and fish till 10, 11 o'clock at night, midnight. Sometimes I'd fish till the next day, till sunlight, because you could cook on your stove, and if you usually are set up with the way I was, because sometimes I'd also go to the wooden cabins, and I had friends who owned them, so I'd get to go in the cabins for free, and they'd have wood stoves that you could cook on. So it depending on where I was going, but I'd always have full meals with me, not thinking about bears. One time on the ice, I was alone in my tent. I had photos and some video footage of it. At one point on some of my old phones, but there was a whole pack of, I think it was coyotes, that was traveling from island to island across the frozen river, and you could tell their path, because you could see how it was worn out in the snow and the ice. It just looked like a ridge line, so you could see that path. But they also kind of I wasn't far from that path either, because I just came off the road, off the end of the island, and then walked out, X amount to try to get to the deeper spot that used to be a good spot. But I just don't have the lung capacity to do those things anymore. So that really saddens me. So I do try to get adventures and things, and do things that I'm capable of. And I'm hoping to do a little bit more this fall, and maybe a little bit over winter. But by spring and summer, I hope to be doing a lot more adventurizing, guys. So it's not to say don't check out the channel, and not to say don't, check out when I'm adventurizing, because I try to turn small like even day trips to the grocery store, I might pull over and go past a field of flowers, or, you know, go in my own yard, take videos, and try to teach people about gardening. And again, my health isn't the best this year, and there's kind of a bunch of things going on. So I'll have to get some surgery soon, and trying to postpone it to winter, so it just gives me a little bit of time to enjoy the fall. And then I'll be laid up over winter. That won't be such, I guess, a bad thing. And I'll just get myself like stocked right up on food and fresh water, and yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. So I hope you guys have a good evening. I hope you're going into the weekend and have a safe weekend. I'll be back on tomorrow. Going to be doing another live. I got something exciting, a little unboxing to do, and share some information. If you guys like rocks and crystals or jewelry, anything like that, check out my live tomorrow, and I'll do a little short too, probably about it. But check out my live, and there's an event going on in Ottawa. I don't have the location right here with me. On Woodruff Avenue, I believe, but I can share that. It's on my YouTube in my shorts. It's in my Facebook. I think it's on my Instagram. If you guys just go back, I know I have a lot of stories though, but if you hashtag maybe Gem Show, it might come up. But I'm gonna share the postcard with the information and the directions and the date and the times and all the good information tomorrow. So stay tuned. Hope you have a good evening. Peace out, y'all. Cheers. Stay safe.